It's a common killer. Caris knows the devastating impact pancreatic cancer can have. She's now calling for urgent research to help diagnose it early. Hundreds of jobs at risk and staff going partly unpaid at this iconic Welsh baker's. How learning sign language has helped Meghan towards her dream career in science.
Are we all ready for a night of comedy?
And how comedy is more than just a laugh for this budding stand-up. Hello, good evening. I'm Carl Edwards. Pancreatic cancer is one of the biggest killers in Wales, with fewer than 1 in 5 people surviving for more than a year after being diagnosed. That's something Caris Thomas from Newport knows all too well. She lost her father and uncle after the disease was caught too late. Tonight, she's calling for urgent action to invest in research to help catch symptoms early and save lives, as our health reporter Katie Fenton explains.
He got me into running, he got me into exercise, and it was our thing together.
Crossing finish lines with her dad is one of the happy memories Caris holds dear.
In all of these photos is a big smile on your dad's face.
Oh, it's a big smile. He was the heart and soul.
But while she remembers his life, the trauma of his death never leaves her. It came just 9 months after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
When we found out, my dad was the only one that was still smiling. We all broke down, me, my brother and my mum, when we asked what was next. And the answer was, there isn't anything next. That you realise that all you've got left is this time together. And you think of all the possibilities. You ask, oh, can we try this? Can we do this? And then figuring out for pancreatic cancer that there isn't really anything else. And it is, unfortunately, a death sentence if it's caught too late. And unfortunately, it usually is caught too late.
Chemotherapy bought Paul more time than most. But by May 2023, he was gone. Tragically, that very same day, Caris's uncle received the same fatal diagnosis.
It just didn't feel real. No, that day didn't feel real at all.
It is the UK's deadliest common cancer, killing around 500 people in Wales every year. Treatment options are incredibly limited. And research has now revealed just 12% of those diagnosed are offered the hope of a clinical trial.
We desperately need new treatments for pancreatic cancer, and to develop new treatments, it's really essential that we have clinical trials running to test those treatments and see how effective they are for the disease. We know that currently majority of patients with pancreatic cancer don't have access to clinical trials. Often they don't know about them, or they're left to kind of find out for them themselves. And this really needs to change, because if we're going to make a difference to survival of pancreatic cancer, it's vital that we do develop those new treatments.
We would have loved to have more time with him, more quality time, instead of seeing him suffer through the last few months of his life.
The Welsh Government is working on a cancer action plan, which it says will help patients benefit from new treatments.
And then that was our last picture taken together.
And after everything her family's endured, Caris's mission is to turn that heartbreak into hope for others. Katie Fenton, ITV News, Newport.
Next tonight, a Gwent-based bakery says the next 24 hours will be crucial as it bids to save its 250-strong workforce. Brace's Bread say they're in talks for a buyer after what the company described as facing difficult headwinds. It follows reports of some workers not being paid in full. Well, our reporter Katia Fowler is live outside the plant for us this evening. Good evening, Katia. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, look, it's obviously a worrying time for employees who face questions around what their future here holds, but the company have said they should expect an update within the next 24 to 48 hours. The boss, Jonathan Brace, has said that their primary concern is safeguarding jobs and that they still want to be here in the years to come. But that being said, 250 people now face an uncertain wait.
It is a bit of a precarious situation. We know that there is a buyer interested in braces. It's a well-known, established company that we have known and loved for many years. I'm averse to eating their bread myself. But for me personally, the main uncertainty for all those workers who work tirelessly to keep the business afloat, it's a very uncertain time for them.
Yes, uncertain right now, Katia, but give us a bit of the background to this developing story.
Well, this is a family-run business that's been operating for more than 100 years, but this isn't the first time the future of the company has been brought into question. Just last year, they closed one of their factories and put it up for sale. At the time, bosses said this was to streamline production, but did also admit it was due to ongoing difficulties in the bread market. Now, we've been told by sources today that the delay to the sale of the factory in Pen y Fan has caused some cash flow issues, which has meant that some staff have been paid late. This is obviously quite concerning for those working inside, but like we've been saying, perhaps more uncertainty on the horizon. And tonight, hundreds of people leaving work today, not knowing what their future holds.
OK, Katia, we'll keep across this one. Thanks so much for the update tonight, though. Thank you. Now, vets across Wales are tonight urging horse owners to get their animals vaccinated as an outbreak of equine flu continues to rise across the country. The outbreak began earlier this year, but new cases are still being reported every day. Well, our rural affairs and climate correspondent Hannah Thomas is live for us tonight at an equestrian centre in Swansea. Hannah, this is very worrying, particularly for people with horses.
Yes, it is, Carl, and increasingly worrying for ponies here, like little Honey. She is a chestnut mare, 5-year-old Welsh pony, and it's not just equine flu that is raging at the moment, but also a virus called strangles as well. It is similar, but more serious, and Honey here was next door to a pony who went on to develop strangles on this yard. Luckily, Honey was fine. She was checked over by a vet, had blood tests and preventative treatment to stop her from developing it, but all 35 horses and ponies on this yard were put into lockdown for 2 months.
A throat abscess in a horse caused by the virus strangles. Competition horse Billy was fortunate not to catch it.
And then spiral in and then leg heel back out.
But Billy couldn't leave the equestrian centre, so manager Rachel White had to put her through her paces in a hazmat suit to stop the spread.
And then move her forwards a bit more.
The preventative treatment for Billy and the other horses cost thousands of pounds and caused chaos.
We were lucky that we managed to contain it with the poorly pony. We'd only had her 10 days. She came in with strangles. And seeing her unwell and knowing the impact is devastating for us.
Boris, the Irish cob, was a carrier of the virus, but he didn't develop it. Now Rachel's worried about the rise of equine flu cases.
At the moment, we have a real pandemic with the flu, so all centres around us are closed for horses coming in. We've managed to clear the strangles with us now, and now we still aren't open to outside horses coming in because the flu is airborne and causing mayhem around South Wales.
60% of horses are vaccinated, but it should be 90%. The jabs aren't cheap, though, so some horse owners are taking a risk.
The Welsh Government says that it's aware of a recent increase in cases of equine flu. It also says that both equine flu and strangles are endemic in the UK, but that prompt action is important in any suspect cases.
Equine vet John Edwards is trying to encourage more horse owners to take up the vaccine in Cowbridge. He says that it's the worst spike in equine flu cases that he's seen in some years.
Well, it's been a particular concern to horse owners, both amateur and professional ones, because flu is quite a nasty disease, and in unvaccinated animals and susceptible ones, young and older ones, it gives them a high temperature, cough, nasal discharge, and it can have more serious complications.
The agricultural show season is already underway and events will attract horses from all over Wales and the UK. The message from organisers to competitors is to protect their animals.
Well, I come over the other side of the yard now to this big bay horse. Now, he is their stable yard star. He is an international competitor. He is very important to everything that they do here. And he was given preventative treatment for strangles. Again, luckily, he did not get it. But there is an ongoing discussion here about how we prevent the spread of this, and equine flu in particular, as we go through the agricultural summer show season. Just to give you some context, it's down here in West Wales where the outbreak of equine flu is worse at the moment. Cothi Bridge Show, that was held last month. Now, they cancelled their horse and pony section altogether to prevent the spread. And this coming weekend, a horse and pony charity in Carmarthenshire has completely relocated an event it's holding to elsewhere in the county because it has cases of equine flu on its yard. So this is a moving picture, as well as these horses moving as well, Carl. And what we will be seeing here is that people, whether you've got a horse like this, you hack out on a country lane, or whether you've got an international competitor behind me, well, you'll be keeping a very close eye on the situation.
OK, yes, we will. Hannah Thomas, thank you for that. Plenty still to come on the programme. Ruth is here with the forecast.
Hello there. Yes, wind and rain. It's not the most cheerful, but if the weather doesn't put a smile on your face, how about some comedy? We'll meet the budding stand-ups using jokes to help express themselves and boost their mental health.
But first, a teenager from Pontypool who felt isolated by deafness has become part of a new community after learning to use British Sign Language for the first time. Megan Hillier is one of 68 learners supported by Coleg Gwent's Deaf Club. It's the first of its kind in Wales, providing a dedicated space for deaf people to connect and share their experiences. Gwen Campbell has more.
Megan Hillier loves to spend time in the science labs. But just a few years ago, learning wasn't something she enjoyed.
The teachers weren't aware how to support me. And I had to lip read all the time. It was exhausting. Life was difficult. When the teacher spoke behind me, I'd need to turn around to lip read constantly. Doing this wore me out. I'd need to go home because of it.
But since joining Coleg Gwent, she's learned to communicate using sign language and is one of 68 learners supported by its Deaf Club.
Deaf Club is positive, as the students there are the same as I am. It's nice to see them. Before joining, I didn't know anyone else, other than my mum, who is deaf. She was the only other deaf person I knew. I was unhappy. I enrolled at college, joined Deaf Club, plus I'm learning BSL, which has helped and boosted my confidence.
Around 575,000 people in Wales are deaf. Many don't have access to BSL, and it can often leave them feeling lonely and isolated.
Coleg Gwent Deaf Club is the first of its kind in Wales. It's crucial for the students to get together, somewhere they're able to communicate with one another, feel included, and it's fully accessible. Unfortunately, we often see learners who have felt alone in a classroom. Communication support workers assist them, and they also attend Deaf Club.
This support has helped Megan gain confidence, and she'd now like to see others have the same opportunities. Why is it so important that people like yourself get this support?
When I don't have support, I'm not learning anything. So if children and people have support, it's good for them. Because they know what's happening and going on in the world and at school. I would like everybody in schools who are deaf to have support. Not just in Wales, but across the world and all over the UK.
This new support system has allowed Megan to thrive in a school environment, and she's now looking forward to a brighter future ahead. Gwenann Campbell, ITV News.
Well done, Megan. You're watching Wales at 6. Thanks for your company as ever. Let's head over to Mary now and see what's ahead at 6:30 in the ITV Evening News.
Coming up on the programme, the Prime Minister condemns yesterday's violent protests over the murder of Henry Novak in Southampton. 3 Royal Navy personnel die in a helicopter crash during a training exercise in Devon. And find out which animals could replace the likes of Sir Winston Churchill on our banknotes. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Next tonight, many projects across the country depend on the help of members of the public to keep them running. So as part of Volunteers Week, people are being asked to think about spending some time lending a hand in their local community. Our correspondent Carol Green has been along to a scheme in Holywell to find out about how the work there can really help.
It's all hands on deck at Greenfield Heritage Park. There's plenty to do, keeping the grounds up to scratch, and volunteers are at the heart of the action.
A job like this, from start to finish, it's so satisfying to see what we've done. We cleared all the ivy and all the rubbish, and it's keeping the place nice and tidy and looked after.
Sandra, you're having a well-earned rest. What have you been up to this morning?
This morning the team have been working along the woodland trail, clearing the pathways and laying weed matting down so we can put grit down to improve the pathways for the public.
It's a good mix of people, isn't it? You know, young, older.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I love about it. We're intergenerational. I think I'm probably the oldest in the Tuesday team at the moment, and Edward is the youngest, I think. But that's nice because, you know, there's a bit of mentoring goes on, there's a nice bit of friendly banter. We learn from them, they learn from us. It's all about the teamwork.
These volunteers say getting out into nature and working together is not only good for this heritage park, but it's great for heart and soul too.
It brings me to do something that's out of my comfort zone. When I first started, I really didn't know what I was doing. I felt really nervous, really anxious, but the more people I meet, the better it gets. It takes away all the troubles I have, you know, away from here, and I'm sort of in the zone.
So would you recommend it to people?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it brings people together, it brings community. It makes the country look better, really.
Whilst getting together is a boost for Ed, it's getting harder for community organisations to find volunteers amid cost of living pressures and ever busy lives.
It is a challenge to maintain and manage sites like Greenfield Valley for the benefit of the local community and the public.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about dipping their toe into volunteering?
Come and give it a go. Think of something that you might like to do and see, because there's loads of opportunities out there, and often it's about taking that first step. And I think all of the volunteers say that they've met wonderful people through volunteering, that they get satisfaction from the work that they do, and it is really good for the mind and soul and body, you know, so it is generally all good and positive all round.
It's clear giving back brings benefits to both the community and the volunteers sharing their time and their skills. Carol Green, ITV News, Holywell.
Well, it's weather time now. Ruth joins me. So, Ruth, it seems hard to believe a week ago, hot and sunny. It's all changed in the last week.
Yeah, very much so. But that is the weather. I did say we'd all be kicking ourselves for complaining. Still, how about a spot of comedy to cheer us all up? Stand-up comedy, to be precise. The Black Mountain Comedy Festival has been giving lessons to those who want to take up the mic for the first time. Among them was Phil Bowler from Crickhowell, who has a stammer. He wanted to try and use the opportunity as a chance to express himself. Our reporter Hamish Auskerry takes up the story.
Are we all ready for a night of comedy? Yes, of course we are. We can have one here.
It's a Tuesday night in Crickhowell, and in the back bar of the Brit, some lifelong dreams are about to come true.
We've got 8 wonderful people who are taking their first steps into stand-up comedy.
To get to this stage, each of the would-be comics have spent time with comedian Hugh Davis, tonight's host. And when Phil Bowler attended the first of the workshops funded by the National Lottery Community Fund,
Good evening, Crickhowell.
He probably couldn't have imagined this moment.
The one thing that really bugs me about stammering is people trying to finish my words for me. So it's a little bit like having somebody performing your own personal predictive text and autocorrect that you can't switch off.
In what's probably the greenest green room of any venue in Wales, Phil tells me he's lived with a stammer since he was 12. The Black Mountain Comedy Festival's workshops have helped him find his voice.
So long story short, or for a stammerer, short story long, this means so much to me that I could get out in front of an audience, a real audience full of people, and do a stand-up comedy set. And although I stammered a little bit, I didn't have a fear of it, and that's really important to me. With overcoming a stammer, it's not about fluent speech. It's about being comfortable within yourself and understanding what your boundaries are and trying to push them. That to me is overcoming. But I'm confident as a stammerer, if I do get sent to prison, I probably won't finish my sentence.
It feels like you're going to walk out of here feeling 10 foot tall.
Yes. Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon. I really am.
But honestly, the day I found out I was pregnant, I assumed this position. Haven't looked back since.
One by one, the 8 first-time comics came, saw and conquered their fears.
It's been a project close to my own heart. I've been doing stand-up for about 6 years now. I'd wanted to start when I was 19, but it took me best part of 20 years to actually do my first gig, just because of a confidence issue, really. So it's been fantastic working with these 8 people, with a few other colleagues as well.
Some people, it's been something that they've wanted to do for a while, but other people, it was just a bit of a one-off challenge. Maybe something they just dared themselves to do. But Hugh was brilliant at sort of creating a very kind of inclusive environment, everyone having a go.
Thank you very much.
There once was a group of first-timers who did much more than just one-liners. They gave it a crack, the crowd wasn't slack, and one day they could all be headliners. Hamish Auskerry, ITV News, Crickhowell.
Oh, fair play, Hamish, fair play. Do you know what? It's the one thing I don't think I could do.
Oh, no.
This is fine. I could stand here and waffle about weather. And the thing is, we can't see anybody.
I thought you were going to ask me to tell a joke, but I was going to say, as much as I loved Phil's comedy, did you see those hanging baskets? And you'd laugh.
That was green.
They were amazing. That venue's hanging baskets.
Oh, it's our age. It's our age. And we get excited about hanging baskets, isn't it? Probably says it more about us than anybody. Well, hanging baskets, of course, enjoying all this incredibly horrible weather that we are seeing at the moment. Of course, as Carl mentioned a few minutes ago, this time last week, we were all moaning and groaning, weren't we, that it was too hot and we didn't know where to put ourselves. And I did exactly say, you know what, this time next week, we'll all be wishing we were back there. Not sure we were wishing we were quite back there, but it has certainly been very wet and windy out there today. Over the next few days, there will be some sunny spells, but you really have to be quick to catch them. It's going to be very, very fleeting. Temperatures by day around about average, which frankly feel all very disappointing after last week's values. But we've got some chilly nights to come over the next few nights as well. That is a little bit of a shock to the system. And it's all very much a case of business as usual. And you can see all this playing out on the bigger picture. It's just low pressure. One system followed by another with a southwesterly airflow, which means that for the next few days at the very least, and actually into the weekend, there's no sign of any let-up. Here are the details.
Today's forecast, blue skies, followed by a spread of hot and cold plates. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Yes, it's not particularly cheerful out there at the moment. Squally showers working their way northwards and eastwards, dry for a time, and then into the early hours of tomorrow morning we'll see further heavy rain starting to work its way into the north and west. The temperatures overnight will remain generally mild. That's the positive bit, values of around 12 or 13. The winds quite brisk throughout as well, particularly around coastal areas. So as we wake then to Thursday morning, just be careful on the roads, possibly some surface spray. A band of heavy rain will continue its journey eastwards, and as that clears, we'll see further squally showers starting to show their hand. Some of these could be heavy, possibly some rumbles of thunder too. It's not nice, but it's all very average for this time of the year, as indeed are the temperatures. A little bit fresher than today, 16 or 17. And we've got high levels of UV, so just be careful despite those showers. As we head through Thursday evening, again, very, very windy, further heavy downpours, but things will start to settle as that wet weather just continues its journey eastwards. So by the early hours of Friday morning, for much of Wales, it could actually be a dry start to the day. I think sunshine is going to be rather limited, possibly just a little bit of blue sky developing out towards coastal fringes. And you can see, for the most part, dry, but there will be the chance of a few showers. Nothing too dramatic, certainly not quite like the showers we're going to see through tomorrow, but something to be mindful of. Friday shaping up to be a pretty decent day. High levels of UV again, despite that cloud. Less of a breeze, so temperatures out towards the west, 13 or 14, further inland 14 or 15, slightly below the average for the time of year. As we head through then into your outlook period, Friday not looking too bad, and settled conditions though lasting for the weekend and into next week too.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
Well, of course, the heavy rain is good news if you are suffering with hay fever at the moment. However, we are coming really into the grass and wildflower pollen season with moderate levels as we end the week. What's not to love? Low pollen levels. See, I told you all this wet and windy weather was good for something. Not much.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. You've brought some good news. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that's it for now. I'll be back, though, with your late update after news at 10. Join me if you can. But from Ruth, from me, from all of the team on Wales at 6, thanks for watching. Good night.